I want to welcome you to the very first episode of The Outdoor Experience. My name is Blake Alma, and as you can see, we are outdoors today, and this is an outdoor talk television show and podcast. And we're doing it outdoors for the reason is that it is a way of life for us. And so it's like watching a reality outdoor television show and it being filmed indoors. That doesn't make any sense. And so we decided to take this outdoor talk show and take it outside and talk about the wonders, the skills, and the outdoors. And so that's why we're here today, so that you get that outdoor experience, hence our name. And so, again, I'm Blake Alma, and I thought I would go into just some brief detail about my life and as an outdoorsman. First off, the ones who do not know, I'm only 16 years old. And it is a passion of mine at my young age to pursue it, the outdoors, and teach people how to enjoy it at my young age. There are people that are my age that do not like the outdoors. They would rather pull out their cell phones and just go through social media and run through it and like, oh, there's no point in really running through social media all day, okay? And then they'll open up a game on their phone and then start playing it all day and sit on the couch and just waste their teenage years. And look, there's nothing wrong with playing video games until it becomes obsessive and becomes a main priority in one's life. And so I would encourage all young people to go outside and experience what God has made. So for it is so much better than what man has made, with no doubt. Anyway, my background. Back in 2013, I was 12 years old, and I was at a teen camp in Indiana, and there was a boys' swimming time, and I did not care too much to go swimming in a chlorine pool. It just wasn't my thing. And this guy happened to notice, he was a teen counselor, he happened to notice that I did not like to go swimming. And he came up to me and he's like, Blake, I happen to notice that you do not like to swim too much. You want to try fishing with me? And I said, yeah, I've gone fishing once or twice before. I'd love to do it again. And so we went down there and we pulled out all types of fish, from catfish to rock bass to bluegill to crappie. And we pulled out tons of bait like crawdads and minnows and salamanders. We pulled out all kinds of stuff. And Brian May was his name, because that teen counselor that I had no idea who he was, he had no idea who I was, took me fishing. That one time it changed my life. And that's why I'm here right now. It's because Brian May took me fishing. That's it. All he did was take me fishing. And he changed my life dramatically. And so I encourage you to take those that you even don't know very well and get them outside. Find a way. I would not recommend starting people with turkey hunting. It's a harder pursuit. You have to call them, and it's frustrating when you don't get a turkey caught in. And for a first timer, that could be pretty devastating to me if I don't get my turkey. But if you take one fishing, or you take one camping, that could be an enjoyable experience for them, because they go fishing, they catch a wee little bluegill, they get all excited about it, like, it's my first fish. And there's a moment in someone's life when they catch their first fish, it's something that they'll always remember. And then going camping, you can teach them basic survival skills, like how to start a fire or how to set up a snare. You can teach them some basic skills that they can accomplish in their own backyard when they're not out in the woods. And so starting off small and then working their way up to harder outdoor pursuits is a grand, fantastic idea. I think that's the best way to get one start in the outdoors. I have found that since my generation likes technology so much, that I would use technology and teach people about the outdoors. We have 2 cameras out, we have a podcast recorder, and we have a laptop here, and as you can see, there's a lot of technology here. I use technology, I film me educating people about the outdoors, whether that goes on my podcast, on my radio program, on my websites, in an article, in my book, or on TV. I use technology to get people in the outdoors. Why? Because it is the best, easiest way to get kids in the outdoors outside of actually taking them. Because it's not physically possible for me to take every kid I meet into the outdoors. I just can't do it. I just can't. There's no way for me to do that. And so instead, I've decided to use technology to teach people. First, in 2015, I started my own little blog. That got a little bigger. I published some books. That took off, and I started writing articles, and that turned to writing for several companies, and then that turned into becoming an editor of a website, and then that turned into becoming a radio host, and then that turned into becoming a television host. And so it started small with a little blog and built its way up. The outdoors is the same concept. You start off small, fishing, or just catching bait, going to go roll up some rocks and pulling out worms. Kids love that. I take my little brother Zach, who's 5 years old, we'll lift up a rock and he'll pull out a worm, and you get all excited over a little worm. And so starting small and building your way up from there and teaching that kid is a fantastic idea. And there's nothing I would recommend more than doing that. And then, if you can't do that, and if you still want to teach people, see this laptop here? Go to blogger.com and start something. I'm in Ohio, so Southeastern Ohio Outdoors is a blog name. And then I could start writing stuff about Southeastern Ohio and enjoying the outdoors here, and how to go to Sharon Woods and how to hike, or go here and how to camp, and go here how to fish. And I could do some basic stuff like that and start locally, and then if I really wanted to, I could get broadened out to Ohio and then to the United States. I could broaden out from there. And you could use social media to promote your blog. And so if you have a Facebook page with 2 other friends, you could tell your 2 other friends, hey, I just started a blog, check it out. And if they're legitimate friends, a lot of people will share your post, and then they'll share their post, and then they'll share your post, and so it could potentially become viral. Sure, it takes a lot of time to build up your blog. I would know. It took me a year and a half before I became a radio host, okay? Starting with one blog, okay? It took a very long time, took a lot of time for me to invest my efforts into starting a blog. Now I get, overall, throughout my 2 websites I run, I get about 75,000 views a month. And so it took me a long time to build that up. A very, very long time. At least to me. Thousands of hours of dedication I put into it. And so you doing that is just one easy, yet time-costing way to get kids into the outdoors. And it doesn't have to be just kids. It can just be outdoorsmen who want to know more. I mean, there's no graduation day in the outdoors. I'm always learning something day by day. You know, I'm self-taught. I taught most of what I know about the outdoors. I taught myself. But do you know how I taught myself? Because of the internet. If it wasn't for the internet, I doubt I'd be here right now. In fact, I would not be here right now. And so I learned just about everything I know from the internet. Watching David Canterbury, who's been on my radio show. So I've been watching a decent amount of YouTube, or going to other websites like Outdoor Hub or Outdoor Life, and Field and Stream, Survival Life, Wide Open Spaces. I could go to these websites and just research topics about the outdoors. Very efficient way to teach yourself and teach others. And so the internet is a great platform to learn more and teach others, with no doubt. Now, here on for those who are watching on Hunt TV, you guys see all this nature around me, and it's really awesome. And for those who are listening to the podcast, you may be able to hear the birds sing, or the animals walk through the leaves, or the wind blow through the microphone. You may be able to hear that, and you kind of get that outdoor feel. And so again, we're outdoors so that you get that real outdoor experience. But nevertheless, what is the outdoors? You're like, Blake, it's a place that's full of hobbies. No, really? I knew that, but the outdoors is more than just a place where people have hobbies and go hunting, hiking, camping, trapping, whatever you might do in the outdoors. It's more than just that. It is also a place that is full of wonders. You go to the Grand Canyon or the Rocky Mountains, heck, to the Appalachian Mountains or to Niagara Falls, and you vex your eyes upon the outdoors. It is amazing. absolutely amazing. Not only is it amazing to see, it's also amazing to hear. But not only that, it is also experience that when you go outdoors, you feel the presence of God. For instance, everything in the outdoors is made by God. Okay? Everything. Alright? If you don't believe in God, I'm sorry, that's your problem. And it's just evidence throughout the outdoors. I see a invention, I know there's an inventor. When I see a building, I know there's a builder. Hence, when I see a tree, when I see the creation, I know there's a creator. Simple logic right there. And so nothing just proves here by chance. So the outdoors proves the evidence of God and the majesty of God and the glory and power. It also shows His love and mercy. Even though we've transgressed against Him with our own sins, He let us keep the outdoors and let us enjoy it. It's also a profession for many, such as myself, or guides, or fishing charters, and outdoor photographers, outdoor writers, outdoor editors, outdoor YouTubers. All right, it can be a profession as well, and a way to make money. It's also a place that relieves grumpiness, anger. If there's chaos going within my home, I'll go outside and just look around, look at creation for a while, and I'll feel better. And so that's what the outdoors is. It's just a variety of things that brings joy, happiness, and just absolute awesomeness. I can't describe it to you. I could sit down and tell a kid who's playing on his cell phone, I could sit there and try to describe what the outdoors is and what makes it so fun, and I could never do it justice. I could try, but I could never give it justice. And so it's something that I can't describe, but hopefully you'll be able to experience it here on the Outdoor Experience. We'll be back after these few messages. What is a really fun, awesome place that provides the outdoor experience? I know. Come and get the outdoor experience at the Self-Reliance Expo, March 23rd through the 24th at the Mesquite Convention Center. I will be there as one of their speakers and doing hands-on survivalist demos, along with other notable outdoor experts. The Self-Reliance Expo will be an unforgettable experience focused on preparedness, survival, the outdoors, and homesteading basics. Get your tickets today at www.selfrelianceexpo.com.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Seitz, and I started out as a preteen hunting white-tailed deer from wooden tree stands that now serve as outdated relics from decades past. Elevated tree stands have evolved over the years, but none have risen to the top like the Buckhorn Outdoor Products higher-level climbing tree stand. I like the mobility of this stand. It's light enough for comfortable carry, and it installs on the tree easily and quietly. I'm a big fan of having lots of footroom on my climbing stands, and I want my stand to be strong, sturdy, and safe. The Buckhorn cable style climber is rated to hold 350 pounds. I think I'm safe there. But what makes the Buckhorn higher level climber different from other climbing stands? It allows the hunter to level himself anywhere on the tree during ascent or descent. And at the 2017 Archery Trade Association Convention, it ranked number 4 of the top 10 must-see new products in the industry. Check out this amazing climbing stand for yourself at buckhornoutdoorproducts.com.
This segment of the Outdoor Experience TV is brought to you by Patriot Outdoors Hunting, connecting veterans with the outdoor world. You can check out their website at www.patriotoutdoorshunting.com. Welcome back to segment 2 of the Outdoor Experience. Again, I'm Blake Alma, and as you can see and hear for those on the podcast, we are actually outdoors. And so this is the real outdoor TV and podcast show. And so, as I was saying in the last segment, we were just talking about what is the outdoors and what makes it so awesome and how to educate those who get into the outdoors. So I want to tell you about 4 outdoor personalities that probably most of you would be familiar with, that I would kind of like to set as an example for you to get the outdoor experience. And so I'll start off with Steven Rinella. There is nobody, I think, that can articulate and describe the outdoors better than Steven Rinella. Don't think there's one person in the world. There might be, and if you know somebody, challenge me, but I think he can articulate and talk about the outdoors and describe it better than anybody else. That's just my opinion. And he's really good at talking about it. I mean, watch his show, Meat Eater, or listen to his podcast, or listen to him on Joe Rogan Experience, and he'll talk about the outdoors in such a way that it's awesome. And it just makes it so easy for people to understand, which makes it really awesome. And he's great to listen to. He has an awesome voice as well. And so he's a great guy to listen to. And not only that, you have vegans and anti-hunters in this world, and we'll talk about that in future episodes. But you know, I'll be honest, I have been jerks. I've been a jerk to vegans and anti-hunters. And do I think that's wrong? Yes. And are they a jerk back? Yes. But does that make it right for me to be a jerk? No. And so, but Steven is somehow so kind and so encouraging to vegans. And I'm like, how? And he says it very calmly and kindly. He's like, you're wrong. He just tells vegans they're wrong, and here's why. And he does that very well. A lot of people are going to be like, oh, Blake, oh, this guy's a moron. I'm okay. And so let's be aware of that. But Ted Nugent, put aside his potty mouth, him cussing and yelling at people all the time. Think about what he fights for, though. He fights for our right to hunt and the right to the Second Amendment. I admire that. And so we need to be fighting for our rights as a hunter. And I think he does it very well, even though he doesn't do it very friendly like Steven Rinella does. He does do it, and I think he does it pretty successfully. And I think we need to take after Ted Nugent and fight for our rights as hunters. 2, Julie McQueen. She is the co-host on Till Death Do Us Part. She previously was on Brotherhood Outdoors and Sportsman Channel. She's been on my radio program, The Outdoorsman's Art, as well. And she is, with no doubt in my mind, the kindest outdoor personality I have ever spoken to. I'm sure you guys have met some really nice people, but I think Julie is a super friendly person that wants to help people young like me and get into the outdoors. And so she will express her friendliness whether she's on the media or if she's just talking to you on the phone. I mean, if you watch her television show, you can feel her kindness just on the show and her enthusiasm on watching Till Death Do Us Part on Carbon TV. If you just talk to her on the phone, she's even more kind and friendly, and it's just unbelievable. I don't know how she's so kind. And I mean, I can be a pretty rough guy to talk to, especially if you're a vegan, man. I'm not a nice person to vegans, and I'll admit that, and that's wrong. I need to address that issue. And she's super friendly. Now, I'll tell you what. Now, I've said 3 or 4, and I would say my most inspirational, most encouraging outdoorsman would be Eli Gordine. Some of you may know who Eli is. You may recognize his name. You may have heard a story about him once or twice, but Eli is actually the co-host on my radio program, The Outdoorsman's Art. He will come on the show here on The Outdoor Experience in future weeks, but he's also pro staff with Bowtech. But I'll just start off at the beginning. Eli got married to a certain somebody who left him and ended up and took Eli's kids, and she happened to be a psychopath. I won't go into detail why she's a psychopath, but the end result resulted her in prison, and Eli gained custody of the kids. And in the situation, it was so hard for me to describe, and I'm not going to try to describe it, but it's such a serious matter that if you heard the story, you'd be like, oh, that is awful, and it really was. Second off, after this situation has passed, and it's actually a few years later, his current wife, Katie, was diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer. And that after already being through heck, he gets more slammed in his face. Thank God that she was cured. Not cured, but became cancer-free, and she's doing great. And so I think that's awesome. But then another trial comes on, and then Eli's mother dies just, I believe, a few years later, which also sucks, you know? And he just keeps pursuing the outdoors. And then, now a story you're going to be familiar with is that Eli and his daughter, and his youngest child and daughter, Ariana, went to Africa back in August of 2016, and they went on an African safari hunt down in South Africa, and they successfully hunted this and this and that and that. And then toward the end of their trip, the outfitter said, hey, we're having an issue, a nuisance problem with this giraffe. Would you be willing to hunt it? It's completely legal. We'd give all the meat to the African tribe, the African natives here, and if you do that, that would be wonderful. Eli said yes, Ariana said yes, and they successfully harvested the giraffe and gave the meat to the African natives, and it was a legal kill, successful kill, humane kill. And then she posted a picture, Ariana, on her page of 400 likes at the time, on Facebook, a picture of the kill. She woke up the next morning with 24,000 Facebook likes and thousands of hate messages on her post. It ended up totaling, by the end of the week, about 75,000 hate messages from antis and vegans. 75,000. I'll say that one more time. 75,000 hate, keyword hate, what's hate? Wishing murder upon someone, messages. Think about that. That's terrible. And they used unimaginable terms, unimaginable language. They threatened her life. They cussed her to no end and just said the most cruelest things to her and her family and Eli. Of course, that ended up all over the mainstream media, like it was on ABC Good Morning America, it was on Good Morning Britain, I'm sure it was on Fox News and CNN, it was on Yahoo's front page and stuff, and it's just crazy. And that is an experience that I don't want to go through. Even though I get a pretty large sum of hate messages and death threats from vegans and antis. I've even written a book about it called The Hunter's War, which is published on Amazon and several other bookstores like Barnes & Nobles and stuff. And Eli and Ariana helped me with my book. But that's a lot. 75,000. So where is people these days? I just don't get that. But we'll talk about that in future weeks. And so even though Eli has walked through the valley of death, he somehow has an awesome, kind spirit, inspirational spirit, and then he keeps pursuing the outdoors like nobody else. And so I think that's awesome. Really awesome. So if you're going to be, the true outdoor experience comes through being inspirational like Eli, being kind like Julie McQueen, being strong in what you believe and fighting for what you believe like Ted Nugent, and being as articulate and easy teaching as Stephen Ranella. If you have those 4 attributes as an outdoors person, why watch this show? And so if you are the ultimate outdoorsman, if you are those 4 personalities combined into one, you're the ultimate outdoorsman. And I don't think there's anybody like that. And so That is the outdoor experience. Experiencing all 4 of those traits as an outdoorsman will be the outdoor experience that I want everybody who's watching and listening to experience. And so that's what our show's about, the outdoor experience. And so let's just talk about a little bit about the show, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up. And so I appreciate you guys watching our first episode here on the outdoor experience. So in future weeks, we'll be doing interviews. And when I say interviews, I'm not going to be like, okay, tell us about all of your work and all that you've accomplished and blah, blah, blah. We will briefly mention what they do, but we'll ask them questions about the outdoors. How do you do this? And how do you teach this? And why do you do this? And so we'll ask them questions that will educate you and make you enjoy that outdoor experience. And so we'll have all kinds of different guests. Eli will be coming on the show. I'm sure Julie will end up coming on the show. And so we're going to have Allie Armstrong, who is a 19-year-old TV show host on Sportsman Channel. We're going to have her, I believe, next week. And so it's going to be awesome. So we're going to have some awesome people on the show. We may not always have somebody on the show, but we're going to have people on the show that can teach you and educate you more about the outdoors, giving you that outdoor experience. So thanks, guys, for watching. I'm Blake Alma, the host of the Outdoor Experience. I appreciate you guys watching, and check out our website at www.blakealma.com. Again, that's www.blakealma.com, or you can go to www.outdoorexperiencetv.com. Again, that's www.outdoorexperiencetv.com, and there you'll see some additional information about the show. So I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you guys for watching our very first episode of The Outdoor Experience.